Hey everyone. Here's another lesson about dotted quarter notes. In the last couple lessons, I taught you a song called Chairs to Mend and how we could figure out the dotted quarter note rhythm based on subdividing that dotted quarter note into the same space as 3/8 notes. And then I taught you how to play two different songs that are on this page that's in front of you. One was just an exercise on how to play dotted quarter notes. It was 92. And the other was AOA, which you see on the top of the screen here. In both of those tunes, we're playing the dotted quarter in a place where it starts on a strong beat. In this next one, these next two, the dotted quarter note kind of feels a little different because of the placement of the eighth note. So we're going to do 96, and then I'm going to show you the anvil chorus, which is 93, which is 93 up there. We're going to start with 96. Now, in 96, you can see there's only one dotted quarter note in the whole piece. It's right there. Playing the dotted quarter note isn't going to be tricky because it starts on beat 1. The tricky part is the eighth note here. Now, the eighth note we know is going to be on the and. This dotted quarter note is going to last for 1 and 2. And then the eighth note comes in the and. The real thing that's tricky about this is this eighth note is a part of the next phrase. So we're used to thinking of the dotted quarter note eighth idea, 1 and 3, chairs to mend, all is one idea. But in this one here, the dotted quarter note is the end of an idea, and then to mend is the beginning of the next idea, and 3, or in this case, and 1. So it feels a bit different. So I want you to take a second to think about the counting in this one. The counting in this is pretty easy because it's mostly just eighth notes. I'll point out to you that it starts on beat 2. So I want you to think about the counting, and I'll be right back with the counting on the screen. All right, so now you can see the full counting is on the screen there. It's hard to see the breath mark hiding there, so I'll show you where the phrases are. The first phrase starts on beat 2 and ends at that dotted quarter note, and then the next phrase starts in the eighth note and ends on the quarter note at the end. This eighth note here is the beginning of the next phrase. And what I would do as a musician playing this is I would be aiming for beat 1 and then just putting this eighth note exactly a half beat before, and 1 and 2 and 1. Let me count the whole thing for you. I want you to pay careful attention to that and that I just circled there. Okay, I've set the metronome to 2/4 time at 90 beats per minute, which is a little on the slow side, but I want you to really hear how the eighth notes are subdivided, and you hear that eighth note in the right place. Oh, 1 and 2 and go. 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. The most common mistakes that I hear students make on this is they're either holding this note out for far too long, and then who knows where the eighth note is ending up. And at the end, they hold this note out for much too long, and they forget that they've got to be ready to play the pickup notes at the beginning. This is beat 1 at the end, and then the piece starts on beat 2. So I've got to go straight from that beat 1 to the beat 2 at the beginning. Let me play it for you. Now, I want to encourage you on this one to make sure you spend some time playing along with this recording or playing along with the recording on smart music to make sure that you're playing it exactly in time, or play it with a metronome. If you're just playing without a metronome, you're likely to end up holding out some notes too long or playing some notes out of time. And we want to make sure that we're playing this in good time. The whole reason that this is included in our book is to make sure we're playing the rhythm correctly, especially finding the pickup note to the second phrase. Now let's take a look at the anvil chorus, line 93. This is an opera, Il Trovatore by Giuseppe Verdi. And I looked through the score of the opera today to make sure I could find it. And here you see it on the screen. There's a lot of things that happen before it, but right here where my mouse pointer is where they start our part of the Anvil course, and you see it starts the same way: half note, dotted chord, and eighth note. The entire chorus is singing this part in um, in Italian. Now, it's important to note that these eighth notes are all sort of the pickup to the next bar. Uh, Gitano, that G, the GI, is really the pickup to the ta and gitano. The accent is on the T. It happens here too. Abella, the ab in Abella is the pickup to the bell. Abella. So the composer was really careful to choose where the accents were, and that these eighth notes were always sort of pickups to the next beat. So here we see it written out for us. Let's take a look there at line A. And in line A, I can see that we've got dotted quarter notes happening in many places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. And in each of those places, the eighth note that comes after is the pickup note to the next bar. Gitano, and here it is, Abella, just like we saw it in the score. So let's start by writing in some obvious beats. I know this is 1. I know that's 3. I know that's 1. I know that's 3. 1, 3, 1, 3. In fact, if I look at part B, I can see that it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and all the threes line up with the note that's right below them. So I can see visually they're lined up. I can see it's beat 3. Now, all of these other eighth notes are going to be the ands that lead us right into the next bar. They're always a pickup to the next bar. Let me get the metronome set up, and let me count this for you. You can count it along with me. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 3, and 1, and 3, and 1, and 3, and 1, 3. 1, 3, and 1, and 3, and 1, and 3, and 1, 2, 3. Now, the most important thing you can do here is to make sure that you're playing exactly in time so that the notes that happen on 1 and 3 line up with the notes that are being played by the people that are playing line B, which is just a steady beat. So let me first play for you line A by itself, and then I want to play for you line A and B at the same time so you can hear how these things line up. Here's line A by itself. 1, 2, 3. Now let me play it for you again, this time with the bass line playing, the line B playing, so that you can hear the steady beat and how line A lines up with the steady beat. 1, 2, 3. All right, now I'd like you to play this on your own, play it along with the recording, especially the one I just did, so that you can hear your dotted quarter notes lining up with the quarter notes that are in line B, playing it along with smart musical help too, where you can hear both parts of the duet at the same time and whether they all line up. That's it for today, guys. Make sure you're familiar with this dotted quarter note rhythm because it's going to keep coming back from here on until forever. As always, guys, thank you for stopping by.